Guys, in this video we are going to study about internet. So how internet started, why was the need for that, and then we are going to study about how it is working and what are different components of that. So let's first discuss about the history of internet, that is how internet actually originated, and how finally public started using it, and how we are interconnected. So in Cold War between US and Russia, Russia was winning the space race, and they sent their first satellite. The name of the satellite was Sputnik 1 in 1957, and again they sent their first human to space in 1961. The name of the person was Yuri Gagarin. US Defense finally formed agency called ARPA. So the full form of that is Advanced Research Projects Agency. So basic idea of forming ARPA was to give a proper organization which will be mainly focusing on development and research of rockets and missiles and all other things. So that is you can say how the ARPA was formed, and the basic basic work given to them was to give to give the country what it actually needed at that point of time, and that was to give a major boost in the fields of rockets and in the fields of missiles development in USA. So later part of time, NASA replaced ARPA's work, and they were so as we all know, NASA is currently looking for space and other things. So ARPA was then restricted to research and development and sponsoring of different projects and all. So that's little history of ARPA. So after that, one term was coined in the ARPA only, and that was called distributed networks. So understand why that term was coined. So Cold War was going on between USSR and USA, and there was a risk that if atomic war may happen or nuclear war may happen, there can be a scenario that the message from one point to the other, or message from some post to the headquarters somewhere, they were at risk if some part of that post is destroyed. So they cannot send the information, so the information can be very very vital. For that only they were thinking of developing something called distributed networks. So basic idea of distributed networks is, if I want to send information to some other person or some other part, then I will be sending that information by breaking that information into small packets and sending them through different ways. So let's just give it a pictorial visualization of that. This is basically now some information that I want to send to someone. So ABC, let's suppose that this is the data I want to send, and some other person will read this. So the basic idea of distributed network is the ABC is the data, and they will distribute this data into different smaller packets, and in that packets informations and codes and dependencies will be added. So all those things will be added into those packets, small packets, and they will be sent through different routes. So this packet may be sent to some other routes, this may be sent through some other routes, and some other routes, like that. Now in the receiver's end, so here is the receiver end, so all of them will converge here, come here. So all of them will come here, and they will finally decode it, whatever the message was there. They will arrange it in a proper fashion, and the message will be published here, like ABC was sent. So in this case, if some part of the packet, so let's suppose that this part was broken or this part was broken, then remaining part will work, and this will send some message here. So that is why distributed networks was coined at that point of time, because if war happens and certain scenarios like that happens, then there will be no difficulty in conversing with each other, because there are many ways of sending the packets, and if some part is broken, then they can send the packets through other networks also, other ways also. So this is basically the main major benefit of distributed networks. And this is how, like, this is the first idea, this is, you can say, this is the first idea how internet was born at that point of time. So later, after giving this concept and discussing about it, what they did is they connected few important government buildings, defense agencies and colleges together. Let's suppose that these are 5 6 buildings, and they were researching on something. So to share the knowledge and to share things between each other, they connected each other through this ARPANET only. So the early name of internet was ARPANET, and they connected each other. These are different buildings, right? One building, two building, three. So important buildings were there in US, and they were each interconnected through ARPANET, and they were sharing information between one another through this only. So, and the other things, then going deeper into that, so how were they deciding to like send the packet? So if I want to send 1 byte of memory, that's 8 bits of information to some other part, how will they send it? So some protocols were made, some rules were made, and those protocols were called your IP, internet protocol, you can say. So that IP or TCP is a transmission control protocol. So both things meaning the same. So TCP. So these protocols were made, and all of these buildings were following the same protocol to send the message and to receive it, so that there is no you can say message loss, and they were able to like talk to each other, and they were able to send messages to each other through this protocol only, and through distributed network. Now the first message that was sent through this type of network, ARPANET, is L. L was a letter that was sent in 1969, and the speed at that time was 300 baud. So that is basically 300 bits per second. So that at that time, this was the first like you can say this is how internet was born at that point of time, and it was born out of fear of Russians. So after that, some other companies were also there who also were working on similar things, and they and ARPA, so all of them like agreed on following the same TCP, that is the transmission control protocol. So other companies or other networks were also following the same protocol. So if they were following the same protocol, then they were able to share information between each other also. So if suppose that 10 colleges or 10 information government buildings are there who were following ARPANET or ARPA, and some other companies or institutes were there who were following some other companies networks, and they were having the same protocol. So now, because of the same protocol, they were also able to share information between each other. So you are seeing like internet is growing here. So it was earlier in 5 6 buildings, now it is in 100 200 buildings. So that is how connections were built, and slowly after that, in 1990, basically internet was made available for common people. So now you must be wondering, so how it goes from 5 6 buildings to 50 60 buildings, and then to all over the globe. So how it went into that much large scale in so less time? So for knowing that, let's just see this image. So this is the image that shows the wiring connections. So you can see each of these wires, you can see. So these are the wires that are connected through the seabeds, and each other continent and every other countries are connected through the wire through these wires. And these wires are nothing but your optical fiber wires. So thick optical fiber wires were kept in the seabeds, and they were used to connect like every other continent out there, so that that they can share informations between each other. So in general terms, earlier we were doing that in different buildings. Now we are doing that in different continents, you can see. So in different continents and countries, and through wires only, through thick optical fiber wires, each and every different continent and countries were connected. And this is how our modern internet works. So if I want to, like, if you have played the game of PUBG or some other online game, you must have seen that if you are playing on Asian server, so the ping may be 20 ms. So 20 ms is basically your delay. So 20 ms is basically 20 millisecond of delay. And if you are playing on Asian server, because we are in India, right? And if you are playing on some other European server, then it may go up to 500 ms, 1000 ms, or 150, 200, something like that. So why is that happening? That is because when you are playing in Asian server, then you are actually connecting through these wires. As you can say, distance is less, right? But if you are playing on some European server, then this may be your route. And as you can see, this is way much longer than the Asian server. That's why it is taking a little bit more time than what the Asian server is taking. So this is basically all the thing that we needed to discuss about modern internet and how the connections are made. So I will just recap it once again. So basically we started with connecting 3-4 buildings, and then we went on to connect different like continents together through this optical fiber wires. And those wires are actually in the seabeds. They were kept in the seabeds, and they are thick optical fiber wires. They are connecting different countries together, different continents together, and we are interconnected to each other through that only. So this is how basic internet was born. Now let's discuss about what are the things there in the internet, how basically we as a user are able to use it, some technical terms now. Okay, so we will discuss about working of internet. So we will first go through a definition here. Internet is a worldwide network of computers linked together by telephone wires, satellite links, and other means. For simplicity's sake, we can say that all computers on the internet can be divided into two categories: servers and browsers. Okay, so we will discuss that later, but first try to understand what is the definition written there. So by that definition, it means that internet is basically different computers out there in the world. So different computers connected to each other. So we can say that we have millions of computers there out there, and they are interconnected to each other, and that is basically your internet. So we will know what is basically that internet connection, and how the connection is made, and how the data is shared between each one of them. So we will know about that also. So let's first discuss about browsers and servers. So what are browsers and what are servers, and how they are used to send data, receive data, and how we as a user are using them. So going with the definition, servers are where the most of the information on internet lives. Basically, servers are your database warehouses. These are specialized computers with which store information, share information with other servers, and make this information available to the general public. And browsers are what people use to access World Wide Web from any standard computer. So let's first discuss about servers. So servers are basically your database warehouse. So if let's suppose that Google has their own servers. Servers is basically a huge data storage devices. So as we can see, we have hard drives in hard disks in our PCs. So they can be treated as servers also. But servers of different companies are huge database warehouses where they keep informations. You can use their servers. So if like you can say, Google have their own servers, because we are using Google Drive, so we are sending some information there and storing it there. And they are actually, what actually is done there, that they have big database warehouses where we actually send information, and it is saved there. And and whenever we want we can request them and they will give it back to us, right? So they are actually keeping our information. They are basically big hard drives, and we are requesting them to send to save some information for us, and then whenever required we take use of them and download it. So different companies like Google, Amazon, and other web hosting companies, many big companies have their own servers established, and in that servers they store vital information of the internet. So if so let's suppose that I have my own website called electrobotlabs.com, right? So what when making a website, you have to host it first. So that hosting is basically what is done in the server side. So I have taken a hosting agency that is called Hostinger. So what I have done there is I have actually lent, so they have their server established and those servers are connected to the network. And what I have done is I am paying them money so that I can keep my website information into their database, or into their database warehouse, or storage, you can say in the simple terms. So I am actually renting their storage. I am actually renting their space so that I can keep my website information into their space, and whenever some user asks for it, then they will respond back and they will send that information. So I don't have to be there every time, and they will actually send information whatever I have given to them. So this is basic thing that a server do. Servers are basically your database warehouses where you keep the informations, and the users can then get those informations whenever they want. Okay, after that we'll come to the second part, that is where the users use it, and it is called browser. As we may be using Mozilla, or we may be using Google Chrome. So what browsers do is, browser sends a request. So if I'm using a browser, let's suppose that this is your browser and this is your server part. Here your data are stored, right? So whenever I write a domain address is basically google.com. So all those names are basically your domain address. So I will write domain address here, my website. So web browser will ask and checks for all those information. So they will first check where the data is stored, and then they will request this server if the data is stored, and they will request it to please provide that data to them. Then the server will respond back to them, and they will send the data to the browser again, and then browser will collect it. They will make it in a proper sequence, and they will show it in the web page. This is how basic setup of internet is working. So one more thing that comes in between is your ISP. ISP is basically your internet service provider. So we have a browser, right? So now for connecting our browser to the your server, whatever is server is there, so there can be hundreds and thousands of different servers. So now let's take example of one server here only. So for connecting our browser to that server, we must have one provider, internet service provider. So internet service provider is there are different companies that provides you with internet. So like Jio, Airtel, and some many other companies are out there, which are basically they converse with the host. We as a user don't directly converse with the host is basically your this server part. So we send a request to our ISP, our internet service provider, that please give me information for this particular website. Our ISP will look for the addresses. They will search for the host, so which exact server is hosting that particular part of information. Then the ISP will, this is ISP, this is browser, and this is server. So ISP will then look for the addresses. Then they will after finding the address, or after finding the proper host, they will request the server to give that information. The server will send that back to the ISP, and then ISP will finally give that back to the browser. This is how communication happens, and this is how we are able to see anything on our browser screen. So ISPs are basically your internet service provider, and they like I am using Geo, and so whenever I am writing some part of some web page, so domain address, then the information, the request is sent to the my ISP that okay, I want information for this particular domain address actually, and then ISP will search for the address where that particular that particular website is hosted, and then they will send request to that particular host that okay, please give me data from this particular website so that I can show that to the user. Then the server will respond back and send the data to the ISP, then ISP will again send that back to me, and this is how two-way communication happens. Now, so if like going one step further, we'll introduce one more thing here, that is called routers. Okay, so let's suppose that I have an internet router. You must have heard of routers. So internet routers are there, Wi-Fi routers. So this is your antenna actually. Sorry for drawing it so bad. Okay, so routers are connected to your ISP, and this can be optical fiber or any like telephonic wire communication, and this is your ISP, internet service provider, and they are finally connected to other networks as in hosts here. Okay, so as we have seen in the last image that we have seen of optical fibers connecting different continents, right? So the duty of ISP is to make connection with those thick optical fiber wires, so that they can provide all those information into your area. So that wire may be coming from Russia, or it may be coming from Europe, or it may be coming from US, or it may be coming from some other continent out there, and all those wires, all the optical fiber wires are coming into your country. Then your ISP will be basically connecting all those different networks, and they are basically providing you with a gateway, so that you can ask for anything, and your ISP will search into all those different hosts that may be in some other countries. And how the communication happens, the communication happens through those thick wires. So you must have seen the image in the last slide. So all those thick wires that we have seen are kept in the beds of the seas. So those are actually used to communicate. And if like suppose that these are different hosts right there. So one is your Amazon ka servers, other is your Google ka server, third maybe your some other GoDaddy ka server, some other maybe your Hostinger ka server. So your ISP will whenever you request something, your ISP will first search for the address where your website is situated or located or hosted, and then they will send request to that particular server into that particular location. It may happen that this particular server is in Asia, this particular server is in Europe, this may be in Australia or some other place. So all these are connected into your country through these thick wires, and these are basically your optical fiber wires that we have seen in the last image, and they are connected to each other, right? So let's not get into that part. Let's first try to understand how we as a user are connected to all these different kind of hosts, right? So let's suppose that this is my mobile phone, and this is my laptop that I'm using. Okay, so I am connected to my router. This is my router. So I am connected to my router through this Wi-Fi. So this is my Wi-Fi module, and I'm connected to this router. So whenever I am requesting something, requesting some information through my web page, then I am actually requesting that to my router. My router will take that request, and it will this will basically more this will basically converting your request that is in digital format into analog format, and it will send that information through these wires. So earlier it was in digital format, then it came into analog format, and this is basically modulate and demodulate the signals, and it is converted from your digital signal into analog, and then it is sent through these wires into ISP. Then ISP will again do the same thing. They will search for the address where your host is, and then they will ask that host to give the information. Then host will send that information back to your ISP. Then ISP will again send that back to your router, and then router will again send that information back to your mobile phone, and then mobile phone will receive it, and the website will be open in your mobile phone or your laptop or any other device. So that is how basic internet in our homes, or the basic internet around us works, right? So let's get into bit more detail. Let's try to understand how we, like when we say that with internet we are all are connected to each other, so what that actually means. Okay, so look at this image here. So this is basically your ISP server, the internet service provider. So let's suppose that this is some company like named ABC. So one internet service provider, it may happen that thousands of different users may be connected. So users is basically your browser. So one user is one browser. We are seeing it like that. So it may happen that this user is asking for some separate part of information. This user is asking for some different type of information. So these all requests will be sent to this user through those routers and connections, and the ISP will get all those requests, and then ISP will again search for the proper host, or the proper server where all those informations are kept. So they will search in different databases, they will search in different servers, they will request it, then they will get back the information, and then they will say that whatever is there, or whatever they have found with the users or the browsers, and then they are displayed on the browsers. Okay, this is information that you wanted, and this is here, please get it. So this is basically how basic setup of ISP server works or browsers works. Now let's see, when we say that we all are connected to each other in internet, so what that basically means. We have used only two hosts here, but host can be millions, depending upon how many different servers are there. These hosts are basically your servers. So basically these are hosts are where the information are there. These hosts are where your information, whatever, if I have hosted some website, then I have rented particular storage in some hosting company, and then they are connected to your ISP. So this is basically like, suppose that some company like ABC is providing hosting, and they are connected to your IP, so internet service provider, through those all wires that we have seen, those all optical fiber wires, thick, and after that ISP is distributing all those information into local browsers. So local browsers, as in if in my country, so let's suppose that this host is from US, or you can say from Europe, and then they are connected to our ISP. So ISP may be situated in Mumbai, so they are connected to the ISP through those C routes, and after that ISP are then again connected through different towers or telephonic wires or the optical fiber wires, and then they comes into our homes, and then we use routers to get a Wi-Fi connection, or you can directly use those wires to pinch it into our computers. So optical fiber wires are there, so we can directly use that also, or we can use routers, and then they are connected to browsers. This is how the connection happens. Now this is just one case scenario, but when I say that I am connected to each and every person out there in the globe, so what that exactly means. Okay, so let's try to understand that scenario. Let's suppose that this is person A and this is person B, and I want to send some information from here to here, and these two computers may, or these two browsers can be there in anywhere in the globe, right? So what will happen is, I am using this particular ISP for sending some information. by using some particular server. So basically, let's suppose that some website is there. So some M Messenger website is there, ME I will suppose, and that Messenger website is hosted in this particular server. So I will just raw image here. So let's suppose that that Messenger website is hosted in this particular server. So what will happen is I will send information, like I will type hello to this particular person who is using this. So what will happen is I my browser will send that part of information into ISP, and then my ISP will search for the host, then it will save that information in the host, then the host will again send that information to different ISP that may be in different area, that may be anywhere in the globe. Then that ISP will again send that information to the second person, that is person B. So that is how communication happens, and that is how we all are interconnected to each other. And host, as we all know, that host can be millions also, depending upon how many hosts are there. And service providers can be also be depending upon how many service providers are there. And this is how we are interconnected to each other throughout the globe. So other than that, so I have written this simple way of communication, so how basically your internet works. So the first process in that is you either type a address in a URL, that is basically your address bar, in the address bar, or you click any hyperlink. So that is basically your domain address. After that, your browser sends a request to your ISP server asking for the page. So your browser will send a request to your ISP server asking for that page or information. Then your ISP server will look into a huge database of internet, and then it will find the address and the exact host who is whose server they are using, that website is using. And then they will ask that server to give information about that website. After getting the information, ISP will like request whatever server is there, and after getting that information, that ISP will get that information for you, and the browser will display it for you. And that is how basic internet works. So I think this part is clear. And one more thing. So I was discussing their IP, that is internet protocol. So you must have heard of IP address. So each one of us have IP address, right? So different computers or mobile phones and every other things have IP address. So that I will again take you back here. So for communicating between different devices, so if let's suppose that this is my mobile phone, this is my laptop, and so for knowing that if my mobile phone is requesting for some information, then my mobile phone must have some address code, so that my router will know, okay, the request is coming from this particular device, and I have to send back information to that one only. So that is why IP address are made, so that different devices have different IP address. And if some particular device is requesting for some particular information, then that particular information must be delivered to that particular person or that particular device only. And that is why IP address are necessary. So you must have understood what is necessity of IP address here. And after that, we'll be discussing about what is www, that is basically World Wide Web. So internet, if I will say what is internet, so internet is a big thing. So it's we can say internet is here. Internet can be used for different things, and one of them is for using World Wide Web. It can be used for other things also, communications and different kind of communication. So what we have discussed now, the browser part, the server part, the host part, all those things comes under www, that is World Wide Web. And it was basically invented by Tim Berners-Lee. So you must have heard of him. If not, so he was basically the person who has invented World Wide Web, and all those server, browser and all those things, web pages were invented by him, and we all are now using it. So this is World Wide Web, so whatever the server browser part, and internet is a big thing in that. World Wide Web is basically their subdomain, and it comes in after internet. So internet is basically your, you can say, there are many other things that also comes in internet that are not World Wide Web. So I think now I am clear on my point. So we have discussed about the history, how it started. It started out of fear of Russians, and then we saw that they were basically for the first 20 years they were first using internet. That was ARPANET at that point of time. So they were using that for communicating between different buildings in the US only. And after that, in 1990s, it was made public, and then you saw how the optical fiber wires were used. Thick optical fiber wires were used to connect different continents and countries. Then you saw working how hosting and ISP, and then your browsers, and then your routers are there, and how they are used to make connections between you and some other person or some other like piece of information out there in internet. So that is basically what is internet and how it is working. Thank you. Goodbye.